So what do you do, Doug? I deliver the mail. First mailman on Everest? Huh. I like it. How's it going, everyone? I'm Daniel Rodriguez, aka Big D. It's time to review another movie. This time it is the IMAX exclusive release. As far as I know, it's IMAX exclusive. It's a new movie which stars, it's based on a true story, and it stars Jason Clarke, Josh Brolin, Michael Kelly, I'm trying to think of other things, Sam Worthington, just a lot of people, man. I'm just trying to get through. Jake Gyllenhaal, I almost forgot him. It's an all-star cast, just like I saw Black Mass yesterday. An all-star cast. Hell, we got another all-star cast, another Rat Pack up in here. So this is just gonna be a non-spoiler review. I'm not gonna spoil nothing for you guys. I'm just gonna give you my pros and cons. Tell you whether or not you should go see this movie. Whether it's worth the $10, $13 in IMAX. Is it worth it, or should you go see Black Mass or Maze Runner instead? Tomorrow I'm gonna go see Maze Runner, or Saturday or Sunday. Next week I'll be seeing The Green Inferno. I don't really want to, but I just feel like I gotta see it because Eli Roth's wife is like. Either way. Let's get right to it. This is my non-spoiler review for a true story that I pick, I guess you could say, as well as the climbers that climbed Mount Everest back in 1996 in the mid-90s, and the tragic events that unfolded, real-life events, and now these actors are portraying. So these aren't just characters; they're portraying real life that lived on this earth less than almost less than 20 years ago. So, ladies and gentlemen, my non-spoiler review for Everest. I'm going to give you my pros first and give you my cons, but definitely this was one of my most anticipated movies of the year. And I was kind of surprised, like, IMAX, totally, wow. It was beautiful in IMAX. Let me just get that down straight. It's beautiful in IMAX, and obviously it's the only place you can see it. It's awesome. It's worth it for the IMAX. Jason Clarke in here. I'm a big fan of Jason Clarke. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, he owned it. He was in Child 44 for a little bit. He owned it. Then he was in Terminator Genesis. I know Genesis. He was awesome in there, man. I don't like the way they wrote his character, but definitely for sure he was an awesome villain. I guess I should reveal that he was a villain in case none of you knew that. Jason Clarke in here, he steals the show. He does have a few scenes where it's Oscar worthy, man. There are one or two scenes where you really like, whoa. Like if you didn't know Jason Clarke had talent, if you see this movie, you know. It's a 747. When we're up there, our bodies will be dying. I literally mean dying. Just the way Jason Clarke, the look and the style and the way that he portrayed himself, and that's his voice, but the stuff, everything he did, and his mannerism, and just the way he was portraying this character, it was beautiful. Or excuse me, the person, it's non-fictional, so it's really crazy how it became this character. So that was awesome. Jason Clarke in there. The effects in this movie. This was a $55 million budget movie, and it's beautiful the way the environment, because they actually went to Nepal. They went to I'm not sure if they went to actual Nepal. I believe they did, but they went to other countries like London and everything, and they filmed, and just the effects in here itself, like the CGI effects, perfectly fine. Like they use a helicopter in here, even practical effects, a real helicopter. Wasn't a fake helicopter. It was actual real in the mountain. I don't know if they actually traveled to Everest. They didn't actually climb Mount Everest in real life, but they climbed different mountains, like different areas, and that was really crazy, and it makes you appreciate it more that you're watching something that they're really doing. The actors are actually climbing, not like the hard stuff, but like they're doing it. It's not a fake thing. It's not in studio. Some things are in studio, I heard, but still, again, you feel it, man. The effects in here, the sound of IMAX. Let me tell you, there's a part in here, and it's like literally, it just comes loud in your ears. I mean, it sounded beautiful. IMAX, it just sounded really beautiful up in there. It's a emotional movie. Anything true story is going to be emotional when you could tell that it's mountain climbing and everything. So I haven't cried. I've cried a lot more in American Sniper, but it's been since January since I've actually cried in the theater. So I was like, I want to cry. I want to have that emotional attachment to people and to the writing. And the writing was it wasn't great, but it had that good feeling in there where the writing for some characters were really nice. Josh Brolin here is another one who steals the show. Now he's not like, you don't need Oscar. No one needs to be Oscar worthy. It's still a great performance. But Josh Brolin, his character, he's very important. He's very important. That's all I'll say in the story. You think he has a small role, but what happens is it's mind-boggling, honestly. So Josh Brolin is awesome in here. The cast itself, dude, just the whole cast, full-on, beautiful cast, very well acted, very well casted, love it. The environment in here, again, like I told you, they went to actual places, very well appreciated for that. Very intense movie, yes it is. Some of the dialogue in here, I've already quoted some of the dialogue, I've already reenacted some of the dialogue. Some of the dialogue in here is good. I enjoy good dialogue. I don't want sucky dialogue. I don't want no Twilight dialogue. Bella. Vampire guy, shiny, like, I don't need that, whatever, Edward, whatever. It's kind of like Anastasia, Christian, you know, it's just like, I need something more to, like, oh yes, tell little Sarah that I love her, you know, like, just stuff like, you know, just little Sarah, you know, you'll get into that later, of, it's a beautiful story, you tell little Sarah that I love you. You know, it's just, oh gosh, it's beautiful. Anyway, just the dialogue itself, because I pay attention to that stuff, because I like to write, you know, my own things. I'm like, okay, they did that, I'm going to top that, and I never could, either way. The actor's actually doing it, like I said, climbing, that's my last time when I mentioned it, that they're actually doing it for most of the part, most of the time. That's awesome. Michael Kelly in here, dude. Michael Kelly's from House of Cards. House of Cards, yeah, that's what it's called, House of Cards. I was going to say Game of Cards. House of Cards, where he always plays a villain, but he's not a villain in here, don't worry. He's actually a regular guy. And Michael Kelly in here, he's deliciously good. And why? You know, just when you see why, and he questions, you'll definitely enjoy it. The directing, there are a lot of cool shots in here, man. I do got to say that Balthazar Kormaker did a fantastic job directing, you know. I love the shots, and hard to direct, you know, Everest shots and everything. And of course some of them are CGI shots, but other than that, most of it was beautifully done. I love it. The culture, we saw some of Nepal's culture in there. I like how we got to see them interacting with other people's culture, and then the true story thing made it just a lot more better, because I don't know how you could come up with this. If someone came up with it, you'd have people like dying, like blood splattering everywhere, directed by Eli Roth, you know. So thank God it wasn't like no snow yeti, you know, like going at it. Jeff Daniels plays a snow yeti, you know. So thank God for that. The cons. It did have a slow start. Honestly, there was a slow start to it. It took me 30 to 40 minutes to get into the movie, to dive deep into the booty and be like, oh yeah, it's actually a very nice movie. So it took me a while, and I'm not saying the 40 minutes were bad. It was just had a slow, like, yeah. Oh, I can't understand because you're talking gibberish in a way. They never showed Sam Worthington until the second half. Like, Sam Worthington is in the first shot of the movie, or one of the first shots, and then you don't see him until 30, 40 minutes later. And he's on the trip. You just never see him. They never show him. It's because the balance of characters. They have so many characters on here that they're covered up and everything when they're climbing. You don't know who's who. Who's who. You can tell Josh Brolin with his beard and everything. Like, who's who? Who's which character? You have to learn their color and everything that they're wearing. You know, I'm just kind of like, balance the characters out a little bit more would be a little bit more helpful. Jake Gyllenhaal in here. He doesn't have a big, like, he's in the movie, yeah, for a long time, but he's not, like, in it for, like, every scene. So he kind of pops in, pops back out, pops in, pops back out. He's awesome in the movie, but they misused him. I really think, you know, you have Jake Gyllenhaal in your movie. Jake Gyllenhaal. Use him a little bit more. You could use it. He could have been a little bit more to the story instead of just being the side character. As well, it felt a little rushed. There are a few scenes that they just jump into another scene and they go to that and they kind of skip ahead. And then when they were actually climbed up Mount Everest. So it's kind of jumping in the first 50 minutes before they actually climb Mount Everest. It kind of just rushed its way through. There's no time to really train. No, they were like, you have 40 days to train. We never saw them actually like go training fully. Yeah, we saw a few of them like walking upstairs and everything like that, little training, but we never got to see like the full-on hardcore training. So overall, I'm going to give Everest a B+, an 8.90 out of a 10. It's a very good movie, man. Is it worth watching in theaters? Yes, it is worth watching in theaters and IMAX, obviously, because do you have an IMAX theater at your house? Do you? Because if you say yes, you are bullshitting. If you do not, go watch it in theaters in IMAX. It's beautiful. It's well directed, very well acted. It's a very good movie overall. It's not a great movie, but it's a very good movie. It's definitely something I'd pick up on Blu-ray one day in the future to watch again. Definitely the cast is awesome. And that's it for now, guys. Thank you so much for watching my Everest review. Comment down below, let me know what was your favorite part of Everest. Please don't spoil unless you put spoiler and then you tell me. And just tell me whether or not you're going to go watch Everest now or if you're just going to stay home. But I would definitely recommend you to get off your booties and go down to the theater and watch the Everest movie. Jason Clarke. Bay. I'll see you all for the Maze Runner, Scorched Trials, and the Green Inferno hopefully next week. I gotta make money though. Spock me with you always. Subscribe for more, ladies and gents. How's it going, everyone? I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to also check out my other videos. I do TV show reviews, movie reviews. I do also game reviews and game unboxings, movie unboxings. I do a movie podcast, a superhero podcast, much, much more. So go ahead and check out the channel. Thanks for watching again. See y'all next time.